Hi, you would have downloaded an activity book from MyCyto. So this is an example or sample activity book, and I'm just going to show you how to use the Acrobat Reader to complete your activities on the actual document. So once you've opened the document, you'll notice the name of the qualification you're doing, the the actual module you are busy with, and it must be identifying the activity book. And then you will find some information relating to the qualification here. Moving on to the next page, here you'll see the qualification alignment. This is how the actual module you are working on is aligned to the SAQA unit standards, exit level outcomes, critical cross-field outcomes, the unit standards that apply to this actual activity book. You'll notice immediately that there is a signature, learner signature that you need to complete. Now, this is where you would need to start working on your document. We're going to be using the fill and sign function. So once you click that, you'll notice it brings up this dialog screen. You need to be clicking on this one. Click fill and sign. Right, once you've done that, it opens up the fill and sign toolbar, and you'll notice that there's an icon for inserting text, cross checks, check marks, circles, lines, dots, and then there's the sign color. Now, the first thing you need to do as a learner is select the color for your interaction with the document. So if you click on the change color, currently mine was on red. You need to be selecting black for the signature for signatures and for completing the document. And then what I'm going to do is, sorry, let's just go back again. So once you've changed the color, you need to select the sign function. So you click on that. Now I've got a signature already, so I'm going to create a new signature, and I'm just going to type in Sean Eagle. Click apply, and then I can put my signature there. Now, every time you come across a signature, learner signature field, you'll find one on each page. All you'll need to do is make sure you select your signature to fill in. Okay. The table of contents gives you a list of all the documents that, all the activities that you have, formative activities, summative activities, and then it has the assessment documentation here that is filled in by the assessor. Don't sign here because the assessor will sign there. Right, we're going to move on to the assessment plan. Here, generally, what you would need to do is indicate the due date that you've been given to submit those documents. Those you can just type in as, let's say, 1st of July 2020, and over. So what those dates are. Try to stick to those deadline dates and submit your activity books or the activity tasks on time. Right. When you come to these blocks, these are CAM blocks, candidate, assessor, moderator. You don't fill in those except to sign this portion, which is your portion. So again, we'll go to the signature. So Sean Eagle sign, his ID number goes in there. Sorry, that was meant to be there actually. And then here I'm going to type in my name and surname. And the date will be inserted as well. The date should be the day that you signed. Let's say I signed this on the 2nd of July 2020. Okay. Now, these portions will be obviously filled in by the assessor and moderator. They will be using different colors to indicate their interaction with the documents. You can also move things around if you are a little OCD to make sure that they all look nice and neat. Remember, you must sign every signature field on an activity book. Right. You'll have a list of learning outcomes that you will come to. And then once you get those outcomes, it gives you an indication of what you will be assessed on in this specific activity book. Again, learner's signature, don't forget. And then you have a guide on how to work with formative assessment tasks. Read through that. I think any portion where there is an explanation of something, it's important for you to read through the content just to understand what is expected of you. Signature again, you'll notice that you need to sign every single page. Whether you're doing it by hand or whether you're doing it online, you're going to need to make sure that you fill in every signature form. Right, so we get to the first activity, and in this one, it tells you what type of activity is involved. You probably will have a breakout session in your team's meetings with the facilitator and the learners who are also on the course with you. So even though you're doing it virtually, you will still be engaging in a group activity discussion. Here is indicated the unit standard that this particular activity, formative assessment task 1, is aligned to. It tells you what the specific outcome is and which assessment criteria are used. The EECs, which are the essential embedded knowledge, is also indicated. The critical cross-field outcomes are also indicated. In this case, we're only busy with 1, 4, 6, and 7. The DO, which is developmental outcome, and the exit level outcome. Exit level outcomes are the ones that are used to measure specifically in your final summative assessment prior to you being declared as competent on the entire qualification. So now let's see. Why should you open a bank account? Discuss this question in a group. So once you've done the discussion, you need to fill in your answers. So we're going to be selecting the text field here. Click in the box and let's just type the quick I'm not going to actually type in the answer. Dog. And you would type in as many answers as you need to type in. You do the next question as well. Brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. Obviously, you can't choose a drop-down answer. For example, like I've started typing there, and it gives me the answer I've typed in previously. You obviously need to be making sure that you're answering the question that you are looking at. I'm just doing this just to demonstrate how the system works. And you will carry on doing. Right. Now here, this is the facilitators, the facilitator and the assessors portion. They will be indicating, once they've gone through your activities, they will indicate whether you've been marked as competent. Now they will obviously also be using a different color. So they might mark there that you've met the criteria, or they might mark that you did not meet the criteria. And you'll also notice that they might fill in, they might add comments to your activities. trying to get to the active. Sorry about that. I can't seem to get that. Okay, let's close that. There we go. So, and your comments should show up on the side. You'll find the comments here on the side. But for now, we are just working on how to complete the activity. Now, let's say you've done all the summative and formative activities. You've signed every page like you are meant to sign. And eventually you get to the end of your document. Remember as well that you are going to complete a reflection task. Yeah, that's all the assessor's portion of everything. This is the assessment or reflection task. When your fill and sign function disappears, all you do is scroll down and you look for fill and sign again, fill and sign, and then you will select your text input, and then you will fill in your answer. Make sure that your color is the correct color, right? You must fill these sections out in full because your reflection task is to give the facilitator and the assessor an indication to understand why you made some of the choices with your answers that you did, and how valuable or how difficult it was to actually go through the activity book. So try to fill these out in full. Don't be lazy. Remember to also sign where you need to sign, right? And then once you get your assessment reports, you don't need to fill in anything except to make sure that you've signed each page of the assessment portions. And under each of these blocks here as well, you need to make sure you sign. Then the next thing you do is you will save your file. Let's say we've completed the entire document now. We're ready to submit it. You will click on File, Save As, choose a different folder. For the sake of convenience, always save your activity books on the desktop. Also, preferably create a new folder where you would put their activity books. Activity books, right? And this is sample activity book. This is the one that we were busy on. I would also suggest you put your name there. So, or your initials. So I'm going to put SAE, which is my abbreviation. Click Save. And then you'll notice that when you on MyCyto, you will have a link where you can upload your activity book to the platform once you've completed it. And then that will trigger the assessor or facilitator to come onto your document to start assessing it online. I hope this has been helpful. Thank you.